Hello, welcome to In the Studio. Happy New Year, everyone. A great way to add some uniqueness to your beats is to incorporate some Foley sounds or field recordings. It's just a really nice way to add a little rhythmic texture and different style ambience to your beats. Now, I have a little example here to show you what I'm talking about. There's many ways to use these types of sounds in your productions, but this is just an example to maybe get your gears going. So here's a little beat. Super simple, just a kick and a top loop. And then I have a couple ambient sounds that we're going to use as well. So we have this one and this one here. Okay. All right, so as far as where to get these types of sounds, there's plenty of sample packs that make, Foley type sounds and field recordings and ambiances. FL Studio even comes with a nice Foley pack, so that's definitely worth looking through. Or you can just record these ambiances yourself. All you need is a cell phone, and you can just hit record while you're going on a walk, at a restaurant, at the mall, at the beach, wherever is fair game for these types of sounds. Or if you have an actual field recorder, even better. So that being said, let's just get right to it here. Let's hop into the mixer. I already have these ambient sounds routed here. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop a peak controller onto the top loop here. And then on ambience 1, I'm just going to grab a gain or volume control. Anything will do really, but I'm going to use the fruity balance. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to link this to the peak controller. So link to controller, and I'll select the peak here, hit accept. And now we can dial in our settings to make this kind of pump and react to this top loop the way we want it to. Pretty much set our range and our bass here. If you want to keep a little low level, if you don't want it to fall all the way down to 0, you can add a little bit of the bass in. But in this case, I'm gonna pull that all the way down. So I think that's okay here. Cool. On the ambience, I'm going to drop on a EQ just to keep things tidy. Roll off the low end so it's not conflicting with the kick, and if we had a bass in here as well. Maybe roll off the top end too. Then I'll pan this over to the left. Also, one thing to note, if you don't have, or if you don't use FL Studio, you can do this with a gate very easily. And I have a couple videos on how to do that, so I'll put those up there if you want to check those out. Okay, so now ambience 2, let's just turn that on here, and I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. So I'm going to grab the gate, or excuse me, the balance plugin, and I could set up or add another peak controller so I have separate or further control over how this is reacting to the top loop. But in this particular case, and for the example here, I'm just going to link them both to the same peak controller. So I'm going to right click, link to controller. Now if you're linking multiple parameters to one controller, which I am here, you want to make sure this remove conflicts little button is deselected, otherwise it's going to unlink your parameters. So we don't want that, so we want to deselect that. We're good to go. Hit accept. And now that's moving and reacting to that top loop. Cool. I'm going to pan this over to the right. And then I'm going to drop the same EQ plugin onto our ambience 2. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is um, you don't need to do this with just one element here. You can maybe, if you wanted something that was reacting to your whole drum loop, all the elements together, you can just bounce out a little section and use that as your trigger for these ambient sounds, or you can do it to just one element like I have here. Or maybe another way to approach it is maybe you found a loop from a sample pack or something that you really like that maybe just works really well to fill your groove out, tuck down low in the mix, and maybe you just want to add your own flavor to it. So this might be a nice way to add your own kind of flavor to a sample, like a loop from a sample pack, instead of just chucking it in without doing anything to it. So, and then, just pull these down nice and low. And that's pretty much it. We got some nice kind of rhythmic texture and kind of a weird, almost weird kind of ambience going on that's, in the context of a full track, it'll be really hard to tell what that is. But it can really add to the overall vibe, and really make your beats more interesting. So that's going to be it for today. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, everyone. Take care.